It's your girl Ebony Speaks Love. Um, so instead of doing like a written out blog post today, I'm going to do a video. And as you saw in the title, I'm going to share with you a little about my it's like a part of my testimony. But I had an eating disorder, and I'm just gonna give y'all like the background of how it started and from that point to where I am now. So, um, when I started high school, my freshman year, I went to one school here in Winston, and then my sophomore year, I transferred to another school. So, during the transferring process, I had the chance to try out for the cheerleading squad there, and I made the team. So, you spend the summer practicing to prepare for football season, which started like a week or two before school did. So I didn't know anybody at the school yet other than one of my best friends and the cheerleading squad. Those are the only people I knew at the time. So um, we're going through like practice or whatever, and one of the first things that our cheerleading coach says is you need to give up soda at least while you're at practice or while we're in season, because we're practicing in the hot sun. You need to drink water. Don't drink soda. And at the time, all I drank was soda and juice. I did not like water. Water was nasty. It didn't have any flavor. I needed flavor. So I had to give up soda, and it was a little hard. Started drinking water, and I was not happy because I needed flavor. So that was a little struggle. I would drink Gatorade and water because I needed flavor. So although I was giving up soda, I also gave up food. And what I did was going to the practice, I was seeing the other cheerleaders, and I noticed that they were small. Now, mind you, I was small. I was like maybe 94, 95 pounds. And this is my going into my sophomore year of high school. Like, I was already small. I was like a little, I don't want to say stick, but I was small. So I started to compare myself to them, and I've struggled with comparison basically my whole life. So I didn't know that's what I was doing. And so because I was comparing myself to them and how they looked, it appeared to me that they were smaller, but actually I was smaller than them. It's just the way their body is built versus how mine is. I compared myself to them, and I wanted to look like that. And so I didn't realize I was doing it, but I stopped eating properly. So what I was doing, I would go like a whole day and eat once. And I remember my birthday that summer, because my birthday is at that very end of July. And I remember my mom got me a birthday cake, and they sang happy birthday, open gifts, whatever. And I remember my mom eating a piece of cake, my brother eating a piece of cake. I think my uncle did maybe, and then I ate a piece. But then I like ate the rest of the cake by myself because I was hungry. And I love cake, but I was also hungry because I had spent the whole summer like not really eating. So I ended up eating the whole cake myself within like a day. And I didn't realize that was a problem. Like, it did not click for me. So, going into the school year, because I was the new girl, I didn't know anybody except the cheerleading squad. So I'm like having to make new friends. I'm getting a lot of attention from guys, which I was not used to because I was the new girl. And I didn't go to middle school with any of these people. So like there were some guys that like really wanted to talk to me, and I was like, that's strange. I'm not used to this attention. So there was just a lot of new things happening at once. And so I started to get like some unhealthy patterns. And so going through the school year, I would eat at lunch barely. Like I wasn't eating a lot. I think I ate like the chicken poppers at lunch, and then probably drank some juice. And then I had my water for practice. As far as I remember, but I know I wasn't eating breakfast. I never ate breakfast, and I was not eating a full meal at lunch. When I got home, sometimes I would eat dinner, but not a lot. So I would take my shower, be on my phone a little bit, and then go to bed. So so that's my sophomore year. I try out for the cheerleading squad again for going into junior year, and I did not make the team, and I was upset. Like I was upset. And so it worked out because then I was able to join the track team, and I loved it. I really did. So once I made the track team, I was like, okay, I need to do something a little bit different because I need to have endurance for running track because I was doing long distance. So what I would do was I packed my lunch. So I would pack like a sandwich, some chips, like an orange, and something to drink. So what I did was, I am very picky. All my friends and family know that I am a very picky eater. So my sandwich, I would eat it. I would eat it in the morning once I got to school, because when I have like my bread, the mustard, and the meat, all together, if I left it, in my lunchbox all day, the bread would get a little soggy, and I don't like soggy bread. So I would eat it once I got to school. That's my breakfast, I guess you could say. So I would eat my sandwich when I first got to school, and then at lunchtime, I would eat my orange and maybe my chips. And then right before practice, I would probably eat like another snack, like maybe another bag of chips, and have, my water. And that was it. When I got home, I wasn't eating dinner. So that was my day. So I was literally surviving off of one meal a day and gum. Like I could go through a pack of gum like that. So that's what I was surviving off of. I didn't think anything of it. I'm pretty sure nobody else did. Nobody ever said anything. But I didn't realize that it was an issue. So I did that junior year. I made the track team again senior year. So I did that again senior year. And then so when I graduated high school, I was about 97, maybe 98 pounds. And then going into college, so I started college early. I started taking classes. I think I took one class my junior year and one class my senior year of high school. And then I started college that's the summer before the fall. So I took 2 classes in the summer before my freshman year actually started. So while I was at college, we had free calf swipes. So every freshman gets unlimited calf swipes. And so we would go and I think we were going to get breakfast. I feel like we were. And so we would get breakfast, we would go get lunch, and then we would go back for dinner. So that was when I started to like eat more consistently. It wasn't healthy. And from what I remember, I know I wasn't eating healthy. I may have been eating a lot, or I might have been like picking over everything. So it looked like I had a lot. But anywho, so I was also trying not to get the freshman 15. So I was going to the gym and doing some other things to try not to gain too much weight. But I started drinking, like let me not say every college student, like a lot of college students do. So I started drinking and going out and things like that. Um, so I did not gain the freshman 15, but by the time my freshman year ended, I think I had finally crossed over 100 pounds. And I think I was like 105 pounds. And I was fine with that. I was like, oh, I'm getting thick, whatever. So going into my sophomore year of college, I um I didn't have unlimited calf swipes, but I still had calf swipes. And so I was going, just not as often. So I had slowly started to develop, like, going backwards as far as my eating pattern again, without realizing it. And where we stayed, I was able to cook in our dorm room. Well, not in our dorm room, but in our dorm as well. But I didn't do that often. So sophomore year, I had slowly started to backtrack a little. And then my spring semester of sophomore year, I think it was spring, sometime sophomore year, I took a nutrition class, and one of the lessons during the semester was on eating patterns and behaviors. And I remember my professor pulling up a slide, and it said people that have eating disorders, it can lead to a lot of health issues. And one of the bullet points that she had was an irregular menstrual cycle. And so when she said that, it like a bell went off in my head. So one thing I didn't mention is my sophomore year of high school, which is the year I made that cheerleading squad. I went to the doctor because my menstrual cycle did not happen for 5 months straight. So my doctor was trying to figure out what's wrong. She did, blood work, ran all these tests, whatever, and nothing came back. Like I was fine. But I didn't know I had started to develop this eating disorder. So she put me on birth control. That's how I got put on birth control, to force me to have a cycle each month. But when I was in my sophomore year of college and my professor said that, it like made me remember when I was put on birth control, and why we couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. It's because my eating pattern was all jacked up. So after I learned that in class, I kind of kept it in my mind, but I didn't really do anything about it. So I, went through the rest of sophomore year just kind of doing the same things. Pretty much junior and senior year, I was still doing the same things, just eating here and there. And if I ate a full meal, it was not healthy. It was probably like one of those personal pizzas, or some Chick-fil-A. Like, it wasn't healthy. And it was only like once or twice in a day. So, I graduate college, I start working full time, and I started to grow fond of bagels. So I had to, because I had to be up early and work a full day, I had to start eating breakfast. Like, I had to force myself to get on some kind of schedule. So I started eating bagels for breakfast, and I blew up. In my opinion, I blew up. Like, the weight that I had gotten up to was 148 pounds. And that does not sound like a lot, but I'm only 5 feet tall. So technically that's considered overweight. I don't think it's obese, but it's definitely overweight for my height. So I was like puffy, and just my stomach was like bigger. Like I looked 3 months pregnant all the time because I was bloated, eating so much bread. So I started liking bread. I didn't used to eat bread a lot, other than that sandwich I would eat for breakfast during track season. But um that was like a red flag for me. I was like, oh snap, I have never been this size. Like, I need to figure something out. So I slowly started to develop that bad eating pattern again. And I started backtracking, and I wasn't eating full meals anymore. I wasn't eating a lot, and I already was not eating healthy food. So fast forward to 2018. So it's a couple years ago. I met my wonderful sister in Christ, Hannah. And I met Hannah, I think, in like April of 2018, April or May of 2018. And then we weren't close. It was just like, hey, how are you? Whatever. And then for my birthday, I invited everyone to my birthday dinner. And Hannah came, and we slowly started to like become friends. And I remember we were at Bible. So Hannah and I met at Bible study. It's called Holy Ghost Party. I talk about them all the time, so you'll hear me mention them in my last video. So I met Hannah at Bible study. So we're at Bible study one day. This is in like September of 2018. And at the very end of Bible study, Hannah comes up to me and she says, oh my gosh, I was just sitting here watching you, like, during Bible study. I just kept looking over at you. And I hope this is not creepy or weird, but I was thinking to myself, Ebony is so pretty. Like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. And y'all, when Hannah said that to me, I looked at her and I literally went, oh my gosh, thank you so much. That's so sweet. And then I hugged her, and I don't know what happened, but I literally just started crying. And I wish I could like just have a picture of Hannah's face. She looked so terrified. She was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm giving you a compliment. Why are you crying? And I literally just told her everything right there at the front of the church. I literally just told her, I really appreciate you saying that. It's really unfortunate that I don't see that. I don't think I said it like that, but I said something like, I don't believe it myself. And she's like, what do you mean? And so I started to tell her how I realized that I have this eating disorder, and when I look in the mirror, I'm not happy with what I see. I see a fat person. And I don't like using that word. It's very offensive. I don't like I call it the F word. But that's what I saw when I looked in the mirror, and I was very disgusted with myself. I was not happy. So I'm telling her all of this, and she's like, reassuring me, you're beautiful, blah, 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 whatever. And I really appreciated that. And I don't know why I told her that, but I did. And at that point, only 2 other people in my life knew that I ever had an eating disorder. And I've only known her a few months, and we weren't that close. And so the fact that I told her this, I just didn't understand what was going on with me. I didn't understand why I told her. So, we continue on with our night or whatever. Maybe a few days later, I don't even think it was a week later, Hannah sends me a text message, and she goes, can I be your accountability partner? I want to help you beat this. Your body is a temple. I want to, help you become healthy and, learn how to love yourself, and see yourself the way others do. And I'm like looking at my phone like, what is an accountability partner? First of all, like, you about to be over here cooking for me, making my meals? Like, what? So we had a conversation and I said, yes, I would really appreciate that. And y'all, when I tell y'all, Hannah texts me every single day asking me what I ate, how I was feeling. I mean, I was so overwhelmed in a good way. Like, I was overwhelmed that somebody cared in that way, because I've never experienced that kind of, I don't want to say attention, but that's what it was. It was healthy attention. And I've told her this, I can never repay you for how, oh gosh, I'm getting emotional. Oh goodness, how you've made me feel. And that went on for a few months. She would check up on me every day, make sure that I was eating right, or at least eating. She encouraged me, to exercise and to really just speak positive affirmations over myself. And when she saw that I was getting better at it, she started to ease up a little. So she would check up on me like every other day, and then she started to back up a little more, and it would be like once a week. And this went on for like, I want to say like 6 months maybe. And even now, because it started in October of 2018, her texting me. Well, it was like September, October 2018 of her texting me through like half of the year of 2019. And even now, like, we're in 2020. What is this, May? This is May 2020. Like a week or two ago, she texted me, asked me, have I been eating well? So I honestly, like, if it was not for Hannah holding me accountable, I probably would still be in the same boat right now. I literally look in the mirror at myself and I smile, I laugh, I dance in the mirror. I like tell myself all the time, you're so beautiful. Like, I have learned how to love myself the way I am. Yes, I have lost weight since then. I'm trying to eat a little bit better. I still like chicken nuggets. They're really good. But I've cut out dairy. I do not eat dairy. I'm lactose intolerant, so my body doesn't like it anyway, but I ignored that. I ate pizza all the time. I love cheese. So I had to give up all that stuff already. Actually, I gave up all of that before I met Hannah. But yeah, I started to make some changes in my life as far as what I ate, when I'm eating it, working out and finding workouts that actually work for me. At one point I was gonna try to do CrossFit, but I'm not doing that. But more power to you if you are, because that's hard. But that's not me. I love doing Christian yoga. It helps me to relax. I am pretty much always stressed out. Always. And that helps me relax. So I love doing Christian yoga. I love running. Hannah and I actually went running this morning. So I love running. I love walking, like at the park. I like doing like ab exercises and cardio. Like, I like that kind of stuff. So I had to find exercises that work for me, and that I could be consistent with. I will admit it has been very difficult during this quarantine. COVID has just turned everybody's life upside down. So it has been difficult to like be consistent with working out when you can't go anywhere. I used to have a Y membership, so I loved going to the Y and working out, but I've been having to do my workouts at home. So that has been a little challenging, but I'm figuring that out right now. And my eating has been much better. I've been cooking like this whole time, basically. It's kind of exhausting. I'm like tired of cooking, but I've been cooking my meals. And I try to cut off like my eating at certain times. Every once in a while, I like to eat my honey barbecue twists at like midnight, but don't judge me. But I've gotten a lot better. And like I said, it's a work in progress. Like I'm not 100% over my eating disorder, but I'm like 95% there. I just need to add in vegetables. I don't really like vegetables that much. So if I add those into my diet, I think I'm pretty good. So yeah, anywho, I'm going to stop rambling now. And I really just want to encourage you, if you are dealing with an eating disorder, to get help and to find an accountability partner. I was very blessed that I met someone that saw something in me and wanted to help me. I didn't have to search for it, but I encourage you to reach out to somebody that you know will hold you accountable if that is something you're dealing with, or if you know someone that's dealing with an eating disorder. Because Hannah was right. Our body is a temple and we need to treat it as such. I also listened to a podcast recently, and I'll put the link below, that kind of goes over the different types of eating disorders. One thing that helped me is she mentioned that it doesn't necessarily have to be anorexia or bulimia. Like there's others. And so I felt like because I didn't fall in those categories, I didn't really have an eating disorder. Like it was made up in my mind. But when she like explained the different eating disorders, I quickly was able to point out the one that I was dealing with. And I was like, okay, it's not all in my head. Like I actually need to be delivered from this thing. But on top of that, and then like dealing with my issues of comparison, I'm dealing with that. Whew, that's a work in progress too. I'm like pretty much almost there. Like I said, I'm 95%. I am almost at that healthy mindset that I need to be at in regards to my image, my own body image, and how I see myself. So I hope this encouraged y'all. If you have any questions, you can send me an email or you can comment on my blog post. I'll put my email below. I'll also put my Instagram handle if you want to follow me on Instagram. But feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions, if you want to talk, or if you have a prayer request. I would love to pray for you. Just whatever you may need. So I thank you all for listening to me ramble for about 29 minutes. And I hope y'all have a blessed day. Thank you. Bye.